Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the book titled Everybody Lies by Seth Stephens-Davidowitz. This book focuses on big data. What is big data? Big data comprises of large amounts of data that can only be analyzed using computerized systems. Example of big data is archive data, media files. There's 300 hours of videos being uploaded to YouTube every minute. That is big data. Also, you can get big data from social media applications, business applications, and even search engines like Google and Bing. Seth said that in his book, made it clear that people will put personal information on a Google search than they will in a survey. They can tell about their sex, their finances, their education, their political status on a Google search, but they won't do that clearly in a survey. Let's talk about 2008 election. During that time, Obama's election, the most searched word was the N-word. That is valuable information that can be gotten from big data. He also harnessed the big data to do something called A and B testing. With the results, he was able to decide which pictures to use on his website for his campaign to get the most crowd and win the most votes. But the thing is, sometimes search engine data can be tricky. In the past, when people search the word "why are black women," it gives them the suggestions of racist terms. Why are black women stupid? Why are black women this? Why are they that? Even in recent times, there have been searches of when people go on Google and type the word "three white teenagers," it brings up three nice looking teenagers that look so nice and picture looks beautiful, full pictures. But when they go and type "three black teenagers," it brings up mug shots of them, like criminals. So sometimes big data needs to be properly processed in order to transcend racial barriers and political barriers and stuff like that. But big data can be very useful. Example that Seth talked about was in marketing. Big data can be used for pricing strategies, can be used for marketing campaigns, placing your company in the right segment of the economy, or placing your websites and products in the right segments in order to foster sales. So big data can be harnessed in so many ways. But he said something very unique, which is social disability bias. Basically, this is when people say or fill out a survey in a way that makes them feel more desirable. Instead of telling the truth in a survey, they don't want to feel more desirable. This is why surveys cannot be trusted. But the Google search or Google big data can be trusted because people post all their private, promiscuous, financial, educational information in Google searches. Also, CEOs around the world and chief marketing officers also, about 58% of them are known to focus mainly on search engine optimization to make sure that their companies are being ranked as top companies, being ranked on the top list to be clicked. This can all be achieved via big data. Also, another topic is Facebook. Facebook uses big data to foster growth in so many ways. That is how they came about the news feed. People at first didn't like the news feed, but they later grew to love it because they want to know what the next person is thinking about. However, Facebook has had its fair share of negative impacts to big data. We have the Cambridge Analytica company that stole access to 50 million users and their data to be able to provide political data for the votes in recent times around 2015. This is the wrong use of big data, because there are two sides to the coin. You can use big data to make profitability moves, and you can also use big data to cause havoc, hacking into people's accounts, stealing people's financial information, and different things like that. There are several examples of how big data have transformed lives. An example that Seth talks about is San Bernardino, the terrorist attack in San Bernardino. 14 people died and 22 people were injured from that attack. During that time, the most searched word was killing Muslims and Muslim terrorists and stuff like that. With that kind of information, politicians can quickly adjust their speech and their approach to people in order to bring themselves together. Just the same way Barack Obama did by saying Muslims are American citizens also, therefore disproving that fact that Muslims are terrorists. You don't have to be a Muslim to be a terrorist. Also, big data was employed by a professor named Raj Chetty to prove that if you're born in the United States by poor parents, there's only 7.5% chance that you can ever become rich, compared to you being born in Canada that has 13.5% chance, or being born in Denmark that has 11.7% chance. You see, you can't come to that conclusion unless you have big data. You can't just do a few survey of 5,000 people and come to that kind of conclusion. You need big data for that. Also, big data was used in the 2014 Ebola outbreak. A Swedish company got access to over 150,000 phone calls and phone messages to conclude which parts of North America are being affected by the Ebola outbreak. Where should they dispatch help to? And this was also used by the Central of Disease Control, the US, in order to know which parts of North America to go to and provide help. This is big data in action. It was also used to carry out the vaccination approach also to the necessary places that has not yet gotten the cure. So big data can be used for good, and it can also be used for negativity as well. So we have to be careful, as Seth has said, and I believe in most of the things Seth claimed in his book. It's really very educative, and I employ everyone to take a look at Everybody Lies by Seth Stephens-Davidowitz. Thank you very much. Bye.